Okay, are we ready? Shall we begin the podcast?
Yes.
Right here at Maker Studios.
Right now.
Roll it, Roffin. Roffin, roll
What?
it.
Kids are counting
Sing it.
Once again, I'm doing it and you're telling
We
me.
can talk about that. That's one thing that I do that pisses you off. Here we go, ready? When the kids go to sleep. Yeah. Welcome to the podcast right here in sunny Southern California at Maker Studios. It's When the Kids Go to Sleep with Shay Carl and Katie Ladd.
You just hit my microphone.
I don't
so
care.
Weird.
I don't give a good
you guys
gosh
have
darn.
no idea. Like what you think, you know, you have no idea.
Sometimes at night when it's just me and Colette in a room, I really experiment with my comedy. It gets weird. It gets real weird.
You have no idea.
Do you remember like our very first wedding night?
Oh, we're going to talk about that.
Remember when I showed you my fruit basket?
You really want to tell him that?
Yeah. And I was
Shay showed me his fruit basket. And I was like, what?
But I wasn't even embarrassed. That's a funny thing.
It's like you were so excited. We waited
to have sex until after we got married.
We were married.
I didn't see one part of you at all naked before we got married.
Nope.
Ever.
And that's why you were like, I can finally show her my fruit basket. Why are we talking about this? This is PG-13 today, or?
Oh, dude, I
not?
just hate the fact that people are Google searching what a fruit basket is right now. We have kids that watch this. We need to have. This is an NC-17 show.
Sorry about that.
That's
Anyways,
it's
okay,
for
so
married couples in the confines of their honeymoon suite. God, we might have to edit all that. Welcome to the podcast, Shay and Colette. We're back. We're here. Back.
Here we are. So what were we going to talk about again?
Our podcasts, I feel like they're a trend right now. Are a lot of people doing podcasts?
Are we trending right now?
What's up with podcasts? The popularity of podcasts.
Well, in 1992, podcast first were born.
Was it 92? I guess they've been around for a long, long time. But we started doing it. I feel like they were even kind of a fad even when we started. We started 2 years ago. When did we start the podcast?
Are you saying a fad for YouTubers?
No,
or
I mean
fad
it just seems like I don't know. I've just noticed lately that a lot of people are doing podcasts.
Yeah, over 2 years ago, dude.
Yeah. So at least we've been around for 2 years doing. We have over 100 episodes. That's not bad. I think we should give ourselves a high five. I think you should.
Backhand five.
I was gonna make more fruit basket jokes. I'm not gonna do that.
Stop! You can't.
Stop.
Stop.
So let's talk about maybe we should talk about our relationship today.
Okay.
We didn't really have a topic today, and I was thinking let's just talk about our life.
We have a good time just talking though.
Yeah,
so
it's fun.
It's not hard to come up with topics.
That's why I like the podcast, because I feel like we can delve more into our lives. In the vlogs, I mean, we really show a lot in the vlogs, but I feel like I want them to be, even though they are 15 to 20 minutes long, I want them to be quick.
But it's we don't really get into the depth of our feelings and how we feel about things.
So over the last 11 and a half years of me and Colette being married, there's a few things that I do that annoy her.
Is that what
you might be surprised to find out?
Let's talk about these annoying things that Shay does.
And so one of them is what I just did. One thing that I do that pisses her off is when she's...
Wait.
Okay.
You're putting words in my mouth. It doesn't piss me off. It's just something that I've noticed that he does that is a little bit annoying. But it doesn't piss me off.
So what I'll do is...
It honestly makes me laugh every time he does it. 'Cause I'm like, oh, he's doing it again.
She's in the process of doing something that I want her to do, and then I tell her to do it. And she's like I'm doing that.
I start scratching his back or something. He's like, oh yeah, babe, will you scratch my back right there? I'm like, yep.
I'm scratching
I will, because that's what I'm doing.
I'm just reinforcing it, I guess. I don't know why I do it.
Or if I'm online, I'm paying the bills or something. He's like, oh yeah, will you pay that one bill? Will you pay that? And I'm like, yep, I'm doing it right now. Did it.
I guess it's my way of giving you positive reinforcement. Yes, I like that you're doing that. Will you do that?
it's like you're asking me to do something that I'm
Right.
doing. So if you were just say like, "Oh, thanks for doing that," then that's
Right.
positive reinforcement. But if it's like almost like it was your idea
I'm like taking it from
and,
you,
you, and
you
you're
were already doing
giving
it.
me the idea. I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'll do that." that I'm already
Maybe
doing.
it's because I'm a selfish jerk.
No, it's just something I've noticed.
I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna try to consciously and say, "You're so beautiful." I love when you smile. I'm gonna consciously.
Can't butter me up right now.
I'm gonna consciously make an effort when I want to do that. I'm instead of asking, be like, "Oh, thank you so much for doing that." Like she was just singing the intro, and I'm like, "Oh, you sing the intro." She's like, "I am singing the intro."
That's what I was doing.
You know what? Like one little thing that bugs me, and this
Yeah.
getting back into our nudeness, when we're in the shower together, and I'm like washing my hair. And you're like, can I like, because there's only like one stream of water. We're just doing it to conserve resources, people, you perverts. So I'm like just standing there scrubbing my hair, and she'll be like, can I get in there? For some reason, it bothers me when you ask. I'm like, yeah, just like get in the
Wait,
water.
so you don't want me to get in, or you don't want me to ask?
Like
to
we're
get
already
like, you
in
want me
the
to just
shower.
Shove you out of the way so I can rinse?
Yeah, you're like, hey, watch out, it's my turn now. Like it bothers me that you
so
ask.
Does it
for some
bother you
reason.
that like I want to get in the water, or it bothers you that I ask to get in the water?
I feel like sometimes like the way that you ask, it's like I'm hogging all the water, and I'm like, it's here for you too, babe. Like just step in
so
right
I
here.
should just like shimmy on over.
Yeah, it's like just bump me over and get in the shower. Like you don't have to ask in a condescending way. Like, hey, are you done with the water, fatso?
I do not do that.
Not come into the shower. Like we're already naked in the shower, both
But
wet.
like, there's
but
only
I'm like,
one stream
there's
of water.
we need 2 shower heads. That's what I'm saying.
We do.
So I'm just saying from now on, just get in the shower. Like move, get over. You don't have to ask. I'm not trying to hog the shower.
Okay.
This is what married
Jeez.
people fight about. So we did get in a fight last night.
I don't remember.
It was the Tori Spelling thing, the food. Remember?
Tori Spelling.
Or what's her name? The chick that was on Married with Kids. That we're watching Entertainment Tonight. What's the actor?
Oh,
Christina
that's
Applegate.
Christina
She used to be on
Applegate.
Married with Children. She was the daughter. No, love and marriage goes together like get out of the shower. She was on Entertainment Tonight. She had a bout with cancer, and so she changed her diet. She went to a totally plant-based diet, and she
was saying how she feeds her toddler, her baby, like 3-year-old, has always been on a plant-based diet, like no animal products, basically.
Right. And so
Right?
she said that she believes that the reason that so many people are getting cancer is because of the foods that we're eating, the toxins, from either pesticides or things that farmers inject into cows to, growth hormones, all these things that, the agricultural
Contribute.
business is using pesticides and stuff like that to help crops grow faster and bigger so that they can make more money is in turn hurting us. And so she thinks a lot of it is we're getting a lot of this cancer from the food that we
Which
eat.
I agree with, and
I do
my mom
too.
agreed with. And I've always wanted to be able to like cook and like eat that way. But it's hard for me because I was raised on meat and potatoes.
Right. And so I have in the past, like we've had this conversation multiple times. And so I have went and bought Colette these like giant cookbooks, like, vegan eating, like with all these recipes. Cause she's always this is a fight.
Bought, like,
This is a fight
2
we've gotten
books.
into where she's like, I wish. Okay. So this is what targeted it last night. She said that in the interview. And then Colette says in passing, and I reacted poorly and I could work on this. She said, I wish I could just go to her house one day and just see how she does it. And in my mind, that frustrates me because, one, I'm a man, and men tend
He wants to fix the
the
problem.
problem. Like, instead of being like, oh, yeah, that would be cool to go see how she does it and just to see, what she incorporates into their diet and how she does it with kids. And, you're busy with kids, like how to make it quick and easy but still be healthy. Instead of saying like, oh, yeah, that would be interesting to see how she does that in her life. I want to fix the problem. And when she says that, in my mind, I'm like, honey, it's not a mystery. There's the internet. There's literally, and I hate using that term, thousands and thousands of recipes of plant-based diets that you can simply be like
Right.
healthy plant-based diets
And
that are
that's
easy to
not
cook.
what
And you
I
get a
was
million
saying.
things that pop up.
Like, I don't want a recipe because I've got a ton of those.
And then I'm like,
just
honey,
want
I
to,
bought you a
like-
book. There's like 5 books in the cupboard.
No, but see, like, what I was just saying is, like, it would be interesting to just see her day-to-day life and see how she incorporates it with her busy schedule and introducing foods to toddlers and, you know what I mean? Like, in a regular life setting to see what she does. I would be curious about that. I'm not saying, like, I need to know her recipes. I need to know exactly, like, I just want to see how she does it.
Sounds like a web series.
Exactly.
Maybe you should make it.
I'm going to make a series. It's how does she do that?
How do I do that? So I didn't like yell at her like, there's a book in the cupboard. But when she said that, I'm like, you know, I don't know if I wasn't frustrated, but I was like, I go into fix mode.
I wanted him to be like, oh yeah, that would be interesting. And just like imagine that with me. But in his mind, he's like, I have to fix this problem. She wants to know what Christine Applegate's doing in her kitchen. And I have recipes for her and I'm going to tell her about them. That's what I felt.
Dudes, let me give you a little tip.
A little hostility.
I know. Let me give some,
and it made me feel like I wasn't doing a good enough job.
let me give dudes some tips out there.
Dudes, get some tips.
Sometimes the girls in your life just want you to listen to them and be like, oh, yeah, that would be cool. They don't want you to like rush to fix the problem. They just want you to be like, oh, that's interesting. I'm listening to you.
That's why girls can get so chatty together because they don't try to fix each other's problems. They just listen.
There's a little underlying aggression there, I think.
Sometimes you just need to listen. And don't fix it. And just listen.
Yeah. So that got pretty like, and here's what I love actually about our fights or our relationship. It's like you got mad and you almost started crying. You're like, oh, I'm sorry that I'm not perfect, that I can't. I'm like,
I wasn't like that bad.
you got a little upset, but I was like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. But you know, I don't ever, what I think is good about our relationship is I don't ever feel nervous like, oh great, we're in this fight, she's gonna leave me. I'm just like, we're together. Like, is that bad? Or I'm like,
What do you mean?
like she's mad at me right now, but she'll get over it.
Did you feel a need to talk to me?
Yes, no, I did. I tried to
I
like.
think they need to know that part.
No, but I didn't. You know, I think some people get in fights and they start freaking out and like start worrying about the relationship. And I did. It's like I felt like, okay, I gotta like smooth this over. I'm like, okay, babe, I'm sorry. Like, yeah, Christine Applegate, let's go to her house.
Well,
Let's
it's just
call
the
her up.
degree of things that you fight about. Like,
Yeah.
most of the time, things that you fight about in a relationship are minor things. But if there's bigger issues going on in your relationship, then that's when you can have that fear.
The
But
little
if you
things
know that
turn
there's
into
no
things.
big issues and you get in a little fight, then it's like, okay, this is a little fight. But if you do have other problems and you fight about a little thing, it can escalate into like, no, there's really a big problem here. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
You know that there's no big underlining problems.
Right. So
if
it's just
we
like,
have a
oh, we're
little
just fighting about the
argument, it's like,
stupid food thing. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, okay,
Right.
whatever.
And really, the underlying problem was probably that I was tired and I didn't have time to make dinner. So we
And-
actually picked up
Yeah.
dinner. So I was already feeling like I didn't make a good dinner for
Yep.
my family.
Yep.
And so, you know, then it sort of escalated. So when he said that, I felt like
Yeah.
I'm already not doing a good enough job.
Yeah. So that's a good segue into talking about how we project our own feelings onto other people, because you were already, because you're
Right.
you have that stereotypical mom thing where it's like, I am in charge of, and I don't say this isn't like my mandate. It's just kind of like a it's like a society norm that like the mom is in charge of the food for the family, right?
Well, that's how it has always been in my family. The way I've perceived, like my dad went out and worked, my mom stayed home, and she did, the cooking and cleaning
And listen,
and stuff like
I
that.
have said I will switch you in a second if you want to be in charge of like the business and uploading the videos and going to the meetings and all that. I think we should do that for a month. Like,
See, but
I will
here's the
fold
thing.
the laundry. I will white. I help out.
You do
not as
help.
much as I
no,
should,
here's the
but-
thing though, like that, just because I say that doesn't mean that that's the way society should be. I just say that that's the dynamic that worked for my parents, and that's the dynamic I like with us.
Do you feel oppressed? Like,
No.
you want to like go out there in the world?
I
and
do not.
be your own
That's
woman?
whenever anybody's ever asked me what I wanted to do when I grow up, I want to be a mom. I want to be able to take care of my kids. I want to take care of my household. I want to think of good, healthy meals. I want to do all that. But that doesn't mean that that's the way a woman and a man's relationship
No.
should be. Do you know what I mean? That's what I like.
Right.
I
Anyways.
like that you go work because I don't want to do it.
I like it too. Like I like the way that we have things set up. But anyways, I mean, we're going on to a different topic about like, you know.
But projecting your feelings.
Right, that's what we were talking about. So my response wasn't like, I think normally that wouldn't have like set you off, but because you were already like, oh, we just got nachos from this Mexican food restaurant. They have chicken and cheese all over them, and they're not healthy. And then you hear about this girl who's feeding her toddler a plant-based diet, and you're like, oh, I'm not feeding my toddler a plant-based diet.
It was the projected self-guilt I was giving myself that made me escalate.
Right.
It wasn't the fact that you were trying to help me.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
So I think the moral of the story is none of this was my fault in the first place.
No. The moral of the story is you do need to be sensitive when communicating.
And I feel like I'm good at that. At like when like we get in things, I'm like, babe, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
you
like,
are. He's usually the first one to say sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
But
so
it's because he's usually wrong. I'm just joking.
I know you are. So I just downloaded this book. I've talked about it briefly, and we'll probably do a whole podcast on it. What? That was there the whole time.
Oh.
If you not noticed that. Colette's just seen that message that says Shay on the computer, and she just pointed. You guys have anything to say, Ron and Rolf?
No.
Do you think I'm overreacting? Choose your words wisely.
I think that you should maybe talk into the microphone.
Oh, is this better?
No, I'm just telling you to do something that you're already doing.
I was like, I feel like she has been.
That was good.
Good
that
one,
was
Ron.
good, Ron.
You didn't get his joke. So I downloaded this book called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, and it's really good. He talks about how our ego, you know, we have to be right. Like once you kind of can like get rid of that that desire to be right, it's so much easier
to communicate.
I'm still learning so much from this book. I really like every time I turn it on, I feel peace. I'm like, oh, I love this book.
I should read that book.
It's tough stuff. Like the way he talks is like it's like, I am the Buddha master.
Like you
Find
might fall
inner
asleep?
peace. Yeah, like it's kind of.
Some people love to engage in dangerous activities such as mountain climbing, car racing, and
This is
so
it.
on, although they may not be aware of it, is that it forces them into the now. That intensely alive state that is free of time, free of problems, free of thinking, free of the burden of the personality. Slipping away from the present moment even for a second may mean death.
Now you're taking off your tops.
So just listening to that brief, do you like that? Does that sound like interesting to you, or does it sound like what? This is weird.
I have a really hard time listening to stuff already. I have a very short attention span sometimes.
So that's what he's talking about is the
asleep,
problem.
But I could try focus.
So listen to this. Tell me what your initial reaction. Just listen a little bit longer.
This is a book on tape.
Yeah, no, it's
Or
an
on
audio book.
audio.
Audible.com/Shaytards.
That's like the old-fashioned way to call it.
Book on tape.
Book on
Where are you
tape.
from? 1980? Listen.
I am from 1980.
Okay, listen.
But you don't need to climb the north face of the Eiger. You can enter that state now.
Positive reinforcement.
Since ancient times.
What's that?
What's the noise?
Yeah, no, I think that helps. I think there's like something with that, like that little ding. That's like it teaches you a principle, and then it's like ding, it like solidifies it into your brain or something. So it is a little weird. Like I downloaded it the other day when me and Ron were going on a bike ride, and I hit play, and I'm like, what the hell is this crap? I'm like, this is not what I want right now to motivate me for a 40-mile bike ride. But I'm just like, I don't want to like get in my pocket because we're on our bike ride and like try to find another book to download because we're already riding. I'm like, whatever, I'll just listen to this for a minute. And then I kind of got into it, and I was like, oh, like he was saying things that made sense to me and that I could relate to in my life. The power of now. He talks about all of our life, and this is so true. We're always focused on the things that we're doing to help us in the future, or we're always reminiscing about the good times in the past.
Right, you're living
like,
in the future
man, remember
or the past.
when we did this? That was so good. But the thing is none of that is a reality. The only thing that is real out of everything is the present, right now. This is the only thing that is actually happening. That like this is the only moment of truth is right now. And any of those past memories are just a memory of a present now. And
So
anything,
true.
if we do something that will benefit us in the future, it's like we're just working for a future now. So the only thing that is true and actual is what's happening in this moment. And it's so good, man.
In this moment.
See, that's the problem. You're letting your mind run away.
I just thought of what Faith Hill or whoever sings that.
He talks about our society, how like we associate ourselves with our minds. We believe that we are what our minds think about. And our minds are like this all over the place, especially with media and
true.
commercials and instant gratification with drive-thrus and instant coffee and instant abs. Everything is like now, boom, boom,
instant
boom.
abs?
Oh, you didn't hear about 8-minute abs? Well, here, check out this number. And your brain's all over like, I want to have good abs so I can look good for the summer. And then people see me, I want to wear a nice swimming suit. And it's like, you're like, brain's all over the place. Yeah, just focus on what's happening right now. What does it smell like in the room you're in? What does it feel like? What's the temperature? What does it sound like? Feel the tablecloth.
Sirens.
Shh. I hear a siren in the background.
I do too.
Wherever that siren is going right now, they are in a whole different mindset than we are.
They're in a different now.
There might be panic, fear, pain.
Ronald!
That was rough.
This is our now. This is our now.
So I'm digging this book, though. Like, it's a little hippie-ish, but I really like it. Like, whenever I turn it on...
What do you mean by hippie-ish?
Well, you know...
Anytime you, like, dive into your spiritual self, it's not necessarily...
I guess that's how people would term it. That's how, Hick Shay Carl would, term
Hick
it.
Shay.
Is hippie-ish.
Shay.
But it is,
You
man.
got to get your personal audio book going on.
And then he talked about yesterday about how once you lose the desire to always be right, it brings so much peace. Like, I listen to arguments in the gym. Me and Ron go to this gym where there's a lot of people who are very passionate about a lot of just weird topics. Like, I'll sit in the sauna sometimes and there will be like 7 dudes in there yelling at each other. And I'm like, there is no communication happening right now.
And this is really relaxing.
There are 7 guys yelling their opinion and nobody is listening to one another. And I just sit there and laugh. But it's like, we always like, this is how it is, and this is how and I do this too. Like, I feel like because I'm so opinionated about things that once you lose that feeling like this has to be right, once you can say, I don't know. Like the moment that I could say, I don't know if God is real. God could not even exist. This whole thing about God and Jesus Christ could be a total story. It could be totally made up. Mm-hmm. And I feel good about that. I feel good about being able to say that and not feel like I have to defend it. Or whatever. Like whatever the thing is that you feel so passionate about, if you could be like, maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know. But I feel like that's the truth. And if it's not, then I'm open for other suggestions. Once you're able to do that, it frees you up so much because you're not always like fighting for this advantage or this edge. And it's just like, I don't know if this is true. And if it's not, then fine. I want to just know what truth is, but I feel that it's true. And I want to pursue it because it makes me feel good. And if you disagree, that's okay. Like we are all free to choose what makes us feel happy.
Right.
And once you kind of get to that level, which he talks about in this book, it is so incredibly liberating. It just makes you feel like I don't ever have to fight again. I don't ever have to have that contention, that tight feeling where it's like I have to be right. And he talks about being an observer of your mind, like listening to these crazy thoughts that always kind of come into our minds and be able to step back and observe those thoughts. And almost eventually they will turn into like the babblings of a child where it's like a kid, it's like blah, blah, blah. And you're like, that kid is like talking about things, but it's not important.
Right.
Like if we can observe these thoughts in our mind that are just like fluff or just unfounded worries about potential things that might happen. Have you ever found yourself in an argument, like a full argument with somebody?
Oh my goodness.
A made-up argument where you
in your head
where
by
you
yourself.
are scripting the fight, where it's like, and then I'll say this, and then in response, that person will probably say this, but then I'm going to come back with this response, and then that response will probably trigger them to say this, and you all of a sudden you're like in this fight in your mind, like you're in the shower,
and you're talking to yourself,
and you're like, and then I'll say this, and then they would probably do this, and then I would be like, nah, 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 and then they're going to say this, and you're in the shower, and then all of a sudden you come to. All of a sudden you're like, whoa, why am I fighting with this person who I've not even, like maybe it's somebody that's in your life. Maybe, like I've found like I'm about to do something or say something and I feel like there's somebody that I know in my life that's going to oppose it. And so then I start getting this hypothetical fight in my mind.
About it.
And all of a sudden I come to where I'm like, wait, whoa, Shay, that didn't happen. You're not in a fight with that person. Why are you in this whole dialogue in your mind? You're just making up. So Eckhart Tolle talks about we need to be observers of that and be able to like step out of that and be like, do you see what's happening here? This ridiculous fight that you're hypothetically happening that's never happened or probably will never happen. That causes so much stress when we associate these little mind thoughts. And then
you're in a bad mood all day because you're fighting.
And
you're
then you
in this
don't know
argument.
why. Like, have you ever had to remind yourself why you're in a bad mood? You're like, I'm in such a bad mood. Why am I in a bad mood? And you have to think about it. You're like, and if you can like have the presence of mind to like track it and to be honest with yourself, be able to like, oh yeah, it's because I got in that fight in the shower with that person that I thought was going to be mad at me for doing this one thing, but they didn't even care. And now I'm in a bad mood all day because I let my mind get into all these stupid fights. And so that's where it's like, just enjoy being in the shower. That moment, just like, what does the water feel like in your head? Scratching your scalp. Like this morning, I went and sat in the sauna and then I was swimming afterwards and I had like the most, it's like a Zen moment, like the Buddha, like this moment like of pure peace and bliss because there was no time. He says, what the best way to disassociate this mind thing is to get rid of time. Like if you ask the oak tree or an eagle what time it is, they'll be like, it's right now. What do you mean what time it is? What is it? It's now.
That's interesting because I feel like so much of my life and my thinking is based on
gotta be here at this time.
I gotta be here at this time, gotta do this, I have to make sure that dinner's prepared by this time so that we can pick up the kids at this time, and like how do I work around that?
So that's a good question because it is hard. Our society is based on appointments. The kids get out at 2:30. We have scouts at 3. It's like we're constantly hitting these deadlines, and it's stressful because you're always thinking about, am I going to be on time to this thing?
Like always trying to be a step ahead of you.
So today when I was swimming, I knew that I needed to leave in 5 minutes. So I somehow, and this is tough, this takes work and effort, I said for these next 5 minutes, I'm going to forget that time even exists. And the only thing that exists is this water and me floating through this water. And I went under the water, like took a deep breath, and I went under the water and just like pushed off the wall under the water and just like I was floating, like swimming under the water. And I was just like feeling like my body and like the water flowing past me and time didn't exist. And just those like brief moments were so rejuvenating. Like I came out of the water, I'm like, I feel amazing. Like my mind was quiet and I was able to stop thinking because it was just all about in this moment right now. And then, like I gave myself that time and I looked up and it's like, okay, I got to go because I have to get to the podcast. But just for those brief moments where time didn't exist, like I froze it and just only focused on all of the senses. You have 5 senses? Sight, hearing, taste, touch. Help me out. Smell. I did not smell under the water because I would have drowned. So just focusing on that. He talks about a great form of meditation is just to specifically think. You're walking up the stairs. What a menial task, right? What does it feel like on your leg as you step up? What does it sound like in the stairway? Like focusing on all those senses. And I know some people will be like, well, I'm multitasking. I'm thinking about the things that I have to do. That's good, and that will help you achieve a lot of stuff, but it's going to stress you out. Like your brain will run rampant. It's addictive. It's something that's addictive where it's like you're constantly thinking about what you have to do and what you're going to do, and I've got to do this so that I can do this. You will not find happiness. You will not find this inner peace that we're all searching for. Like, what do we do all this stuff that we do? Go to school, get jobs. It's so that we can enjoy ourselves, so that we can have time and money to spend with the people we love,
Yeah, that reminds me.
And if you can never enjoy it, what's the point of it all?
What is the point?
And if there's no God and we die and rot in the ground, what was the point of being stressed about all of this crap that you're always worried about? Just so that you can die and decompose into the earth.
Good point.
Like take some moments and enjoy what is happening in this moment right now. So hippie.
I feel so much hippie-ish right now. I love it.
Spiritual masters of all traditions have pointed to the now as the key to the spiritual dimension.
Listen.
Despite this, it seems to have remained a secret.
Right?
It is certainly not taught in churches and temples. If you go to a church, you may hear readings from the Gospels such as, "Take no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself."
That's a quote from Jesus Christ. Good stuff. I really do believe in spirituality. And I don't think that says that you can't go to church on Sunday. I still feel like we have a lot of benefit. Anyways, we're getting told to wrap. W-R-A-P means
so much to talk about. Yeah, that reminds me of some stuff that Dave Ramsey talked about. So we need to talk about this next time.
What is it? Tell me real quick.
Oh, well, just being able to manage your time, and because there's so many times where I'm like stressed about something, and then all of a sudden my phone will ding, and I'll be like, "What's going on in my phone?" Like that right there is not important.
Mm-hmm.
Like you need to know how to take out the things in your life that aren't important.
So in listening to this book, I really feel that one of my addictions is my phone.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if I'm honest with myself and I'm really my own devil's advocate, I think that this phone is probably damaging to me.
I've realized that too. Like sometimes I'll be checking my email for the probably 35th time a day, and I'm like, why am I checking my email?
It's such a waste.
I do not need to
Why
be
am I
checking this right
refreshing
now.
Twitter again?
I do not need to look.
I
Stop.
hate that the first thing I want to do when I wake up in the morning is roll over and look at my phone.
Check.
And there's always messages. Just
There
because
always is.
Because of the nature of our job, like, you know, we're online and we have so much. There's always Facebook messages and tweets and emails and Instagram notifications. Every morning I wake up, it's like Christmas morning on my phone. There's like a million little presents for me waiting here.
Right.
And it's positive reinforcement. It's like you're an important person. There's all these people trying to contact
Well, it's
you.
interesting
and
because
it's
you
addicting.
feel like if you're checking those messages, you're doing that, like you're getting stuff done. But are you?
You're not. Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah. You think it feels
Especially
like you're
with the nature of what we do. Like,
Right.
okay, if I'm
I'm
reading,
doing my job,
if
I'm on
checking
Twitter.
this person's Twitter, if I know everything that's going on,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be ahead. But are you really?
I'll end this conversation with this, and I might have told this story before. A couple months ago, I was in the hot tub with my kids at our apartment complex. This is before we live in the house that we do now. And I'm checking Twitter. I think I just posted an Instagram of me and my kids in the hot tub. And so I'm reading comments, refreshing. And here are all my children, you know, playing, loving it. And I'm sitting here like on my phone. Like, why not just, I'm like, you know, posting. That's the problem with social media is we post these moments of our present because we're like almost like, look at this great thing I'm doing right now. Look what a great life I have. Look how cute my kids are, and we're in the hot tub and we're enjoying it. But I'm not enjoying the moment. I'm like looking at the comments like, oh, your kids are so cute. I'm like, yeah, see, I have such a great life staring at my phone all the time. Such a good life. Oh, man. Look, I'm going to post
so
another. And it's like the only moments that we actually live are like this.
And it's
okay,
like,
look like we're having a good time. Ready?
Right.
Look, we're in this really important place. Look, there's famous people here. Ready? Okay, let's post this on Instagram so people know how important we are. Okay, now let's read all their comments. Yeah, I have such a good life. I have such a good life.
And then you're not living in the now.
And then this happened. I almost dropped my phone in the hot tub. And I was like, oh, but I had this moment where I was like, it was weird as heck. Because I was like, oh, no, don't drop your phone in the hot tub. Then I was like, that would be actually so nice.
Like
there was this moment
drop
of
the
relief where I was
phone.
like, if I drop my phone in the hot tub, I would have an excuse not to be
not
on
be
it.
on your phone.
And that would feel relieving. I would not have to stare at my freaking phone all day because my phone's in the hot tub and I
But
can't do
then
anything
when you
about
did actually go snorkeling with your phone, was it relieving?
It was. There was like a day and a half where I'm like, you can't get a hold of me because my phone's broken. But then it was like this social pressure. I get on my, why haven't you been answering your Hey Tell, Shay? We have a lot of it's like, oh. You know, like, that's why I feel like we need to take a digital break.
We do.
But there's so much pressure. Like, Shay, you can't stop the vlogs.
And it's not just from other people. It's your.
It's self-imposed.
It's self-imposed.
Because, oh, man, we could go on. We could go on
We
forever
could go
and ever
on.
about this. Because,
Good stuff.
oh, yeah, we should talk more about this. Because you identify yourself with the achievements that you have. So I am Shay Carl, the vlogger of 5 years. Like, I have all this, but that's not who I am. Those are just things I've done that don't matter.
Right. I mean, they won't matter in the long run, but they do matter.
Thanks, Rolf. We needed that.
We're getting sucked into the vortex of time
and
and social media, the internet.
When the kids go to sleep. So take a break from your phone, but do not watch this podcast. Thumbs it up. Thanks.
After
we
the
appreciate
podcast,
it.
then take a break.
See, it's perpetuating. We're still doing it.